Thanks for having me on this. This is my first podcast I've ever done. So
that's so rad, man. So I'm glad I get to be the first one.
You are popping my podcast cherry right now.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's go. So thanks for that. This is a nice little setup you've got here.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. Just having to figure everything out, right. from scratch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend though that she's starting doing her podcast as well, and she's also trying to figure out. I'm able to help her with a few things,
sure.
But it's just like getting to the point where, what is an interface?
Yeah.
A microphone.
Dude, it's crazy. Like all these little nuanced things that I've had to learn about my business as well,
right,
as you are with your podcast. It's like I literally tell people that I graduated from YouTube University because anything you want to learn.
Like, where would we be without YouTube?
I don't know how they did it before YouTube. Like, how did people figure stuff out? I guess school, traditional college.
Probably that's what they were. Probably not that many people doing podcasts,
No.
But it's crazy. Like, any question you have.
Yeah.
And that's why YouTube is freaking amazing, right?
Yeah.
Any single question you have, you go in there and you find the answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's insane. Like I even 5 years, if I could have started 5 years prior,
right,
I'm sure I would have not been able to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah. What a time to be alive and to be doing things.
Right?
What a time to be doing stuff. Taking on new ventures.
And just like I was telling you earlier, just jumping into AI and seeing how it can help me to improve and tweak things here and there. It's scary, man. Like, it's scary good.
It is.
I'm not that pessimistic,
right,
scary, end of the world type of guy. It's like scary, like how much it has advanced in such a small period of time.
Yeah. I know that it's kind of a 50-50 split. You either get the people who are excited about the advances that AI technology have, and then people who fear it. And it's kind of a choice of which one you're going to be. I personally am excited, but I do see the correlation with AI showing you things that aren't real, that you perceive as real,
right,
and just totally breaking people's realities, especially with social media and how vulnerable young people are and can be to it.
Yep.
It's just going to get better and better. But for the meantime, let's just use it to help the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, there's so much that you can do with that.
Yeah.
There is a lot that it can help you with. But like I was just telling you earlier, I started playing around with AI within the last, I want to say 2 weeks, week and a half. Because I was very hesitant in the way that I didn't believe that, in a sense, that it could do so much for you, right? People rave about it, how it can help you with your business, with this and with that, and how can it help you improve, certain aspects of your business, like I was mentioning. But then you start diving into it, and you are going, yes, I mean, it's there. It's all the knowledge that you need. You just ask it, and it will give you an answer for everything,
Great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No
crazy,
more
crazy.
Essays need to be written in school ever again.
That's it. That's it. We would have loved to have that, back in our day, right? When we were in high school.
Yeah. I don't want to admit this, but I will. I was a terrible student. Always have been.
Were you really?
Yeah. I cheated my way through Algebra 2. I'm not going to lie.
Algebra, you said?
Yeah.
Cool. I hated Algebra 2, man. I took Algebra 5 times.
Did you?
I don't think I even passed it.
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
he still has Algebra 2 to pass. And you know what? Those, who advanced, I hope you're using it now, but I seriously doubt you are.
Please let me know how you're using it, unless you're like a mathematician or a physicist. But anyways, man. So how did you do in your fantasy football, bro?
The fantasy football. This is my first year fantasy footballing, so thanks for having me in the league. And
for sure.
That's kind of a unique way to get connected to someone.
Yeah, true.
I always say that sports is such a connector for people. I think music and food are the top 3 things that people use to just kind of connect. So, how did I do?
Yeah.
not great as far as the levels go. I think how many people was in our league? What, like
12.
There's 12.
Yeah.
All right, so I went right in the middle, 6.
There was 12 people.
I think I got right around sixth place.
All right.
So an honorable 6. Nothing to brag about, but I didn't completely fail. I did use as YouTube University to help me pick things.
Oh, you did?
I had to research a little bit of a little bit of research and development.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like most people, at least most of the people that were in that fantasy football league, I mean, they've done it many times. Some of those people already had like 2 or 3 fantasy footballs going on at once.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
all
a
right.
side hustle.
Yeah, these people are like living and breathing football.
Right.
They cannot wait for football season to be over. And it's days to the Super Bowl and they're already suffering. Like they like already having this anxiety attack without football. You know, for me, I think it's the second time that I've done it.
Yeah.
And as you could tell by my name, you know, a soccer fan, you know, like
I wanted to ask about this.
it was, can you imagine? I would have won the whole thing, dude.
You were doing good.
I was doing so good. So let me tell you like what happened. So I go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And what happens is that Jalen Hurts get hurt, right? That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
I have Jalen and A. Brown that took me to the quarterfinal, to the semifinals, actually semifinals. So in those playoffs, Jalen gets hurt, and I forgot to change it to Burrows. So I had Burrows as well, my backup quarterback.
Yeah. And you didn't swap him.
I didn't swap him. I totally.
So you got a goose egg on Hurts that very, very crucial game.
Completely. He got hurt in that game. They took him out within like in the first period.
I remember
in the first quarter.
Yeah.
That was it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I think I actually placed a bet on that game for a Jalen Hurts touchdown. So we both lost that game. You're not alone in that.
Okay, good. Now I don't feel that bad. No. But I was like, you got to be kidding me. So Jalen Hurts is out of the game. He has a concussion, I believe. Mm-hmm. Then Burrows has an amazing game. So I'm like looking at my, my players, and I have freaking Jalen like 0.04 points, and I'm looking at Burrows with like 33 points or something like that. I'm just like, oh,
doesn't it hurt?
That hurt, man.
It does.
That hurt.
You feel that cut runs deep. Something then it's like your pride gets a little bit shattered. But nothing. There's nothing you could have done.
Out of your control, right? Out of your control, and it's like so. That girl that beats me because of that goes on to play the other guy from the other side of the bracket.
Yep.
And she wins.
Did she?
And she won.
Wow.
And because I believe I still was playing for third place or something like that.
Yeah.
My points were higher than hers.
Oh, so
I would have won it, dude.
Right.
I would have won it. So if it wasn't because of Jalen,
just because of Jalen, if you're watching
it, Ryan, hopefully one of these days you'll watch it. I'm gonna make this shit viral.
I think I actually owe you an apology because I was at the Wild Goose. It was a local bar where I watch most of the games.
Right.
Lots of TVs everywhere, and I'm fortunate where I can just like stumble over there. I can walk there from where I live.
Okay.
And I was chatting up with a guy he was looking at my fantasy lineup. I was looking at his fantasy lineup. We became beer buddies for that day.
Right.
And you had A. Brown.
Right.
Yep. And I had Devontae Smith.
Okay.
And A. Brown was just crushing Smith. Like, he's the number one guy. And I really, really was hoping that I could try to finagle a way to get A. Brown. And this guy that I was drinking with was the encourager of this. He was like, dude, just like throw in a trade, try to get Brown, trade Smith, and then give him like Freiermuth. And from the tight end from Steelers. And so I was like, there's no way anyone's going to go for that.
Right.
And he's like, but you never know. And so we broed out on this, and he encouraged me to put in this deal that was obviously, good job on denying it. You did deny it. You didn't accept it. No one should have. And even after, I kind of felt like, dirty about it. I felt bad. Like I'm trying.
It was haunting you.
Yeah, it kind of was. So I'm glad I get to come clean. I will never try to steal someone's player, but if it wasn't for a bit of alcohol and a lot of encouragement,
that's how that's happened. And guess what? If I probably would have been drinking, I'd be like, oh, sure, why not? You know, like, well, let's make that trade. And I think there was somebody else too. Somebody else wanted to trade Brown also.
Great season he
for
had.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
because I think that's when the quarterback. I'm not going to try to say his name for the quarterback of the Dolphins. He got injured.
Yep.
Tago.
It's a long
Tago
T.
So the guy knew, he's like, dude, I'm not gonna be able to do much if I get with Tyreek Hill.
No.
So he's like, he was giving me Tyreek or somebody else, and I was like, dude, the quarterback is injured. Like, what am I gonna do with it?
It's laughable, right?
Yeah, it's like that, but nice try.
Right.
Nice try. You know, that's all you can do is like
put together respectable trades or don't put trades in together at all. Unless you get encouraged by some drunk guy at a bar.
which can happen. Yeah. But yeah, the irony of that would have been me, the soccer fan, winning the whole fantasy football league.
I would have loved to see that.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been so funny.
I would have loved to see that. And I don't even know if you know this, but I am a diehard soccer fan.
I think you mentioned something like that. So, who's your team?
So I've got two teams. Right. So the MLS season is about to start this weekend. Okay. I'm a huge LA Galaxy fan. Okay. I got season tickets. I'll have to take you to a game.
Let's go, dude. I haven't been to a game here. I mean, for MLS.
Okay.
I mean, I've been here. I have gone to see Mexico against Argentina, Brazil, you name it. But I still haven't been to an MLS game.
There's good energy.
Yeah.
I know people still want to, talk about the MLS as being like a not quality league, but I don't think they've tuned in the last couple of years, man. It's picked up and there's some good energy. So I'm happy to take you. So
thanks, brother. Yeah, let's do it.
LA Galaxy, and then for Premier League, Newcastle.
All right.
Random pick.
I was gonna say, why Newcastle?
There's
got to be a story behind it.
There is. I grew up going to Galaxy games with my dad. Okay. And so that's always been a constant. But I did want to watch, if you're going to be a soccer fan, watch the best soccer available in the world, which is obviously the Premier League.
Right.
So I started researching different clubs, trying to find, all right, what's going to be my club at that time.
So this is, how old were you when this happened?
Oh, this was just what, 4 years ago when I started watching Premier League.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that time, I was researching clubs, and Christian Pulisic, the American, he was on Chelsea.
Yes.
So I was contemplating, maybe I go with the American, maybe Chelsea. And then Leeds United had Tyler Adams and a bunch of different American players. And as an American, obviously, I want to support them.
Absolutely.
And then,
as you should.
Yeah. I'm having lunch with a friend and talking about this. And he looks at me like I'm the biggest dummy ever. Because he's from Newcastle. He's a Brit to the very core, and he's looking at me. He's like,
seriously?
Yeah, he's like, you're a stupid Yank. Be a Newcastle fan. I'm your friend. I'm from Newcastle. I've been a long-term Newcastle fan. And you're over here talking to me about Chelsea. He was kind of
a little hurt, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
He's like, why would that not be your first thought?
Why wasn't it?
Now
let me ask you, why wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess it just I was being selfish.
Yeah, and I'm sure it didn't even cross your head for whatever reason. You're right.
It didn't.
But what happened the minute that he told you about it? You were like, all right, that sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just started watching games with him. So he'd invite me over. Okay. He couldn't stand to see me be a Chelsea fan. Yeah. So he was like, I'm going to invite you over. I'm gonna cook you some breakfast. We're going to watch games early in the morning.
Because the games are early, dude.
They're early. Yeah. You got to be dedicated.
Yeah, early.
And it was his breakfast that made me a Newcastle fan.
Well, good job then.
Yeah.
Good job. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good for him. Yeah. For me, it's once again, I don't have anybody on the MLS.
Right.
For Mexico, I have lost faith in Mexican soccer, to be honest. Just because there's so much corruption.
Yeah.
So much corruption in Mexico when it comes down to soccer because there's a lot of money to be made.
Uh-huh.
But what sucks more about it is that they don't think about long term. They think everything they have to make the money right now. There's corruption everywhere, right?
Yeah. Especially if there's money to be
with
made.
sport. If there's money to be made, there's corruption everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the mentality of when it comes down to sports and business, the American mentality, right?
Yeah.
For them is long term.
Right.
They're always looking at the big picture.
Right.
They're thinking about building a legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they know they're gonna maybe lose money for the first 5 years.
Sure.
Maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
But after that, they're just gonna be bringing it in, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was very American to be. The MLS started so in the hole.
If it wasn't until Beckham came into,
Yeah.
which was like 2001, I think. That's when Beckham came to the States.
I was at that game.
Oh, you were?
I was at the first game for Beckham.
I was just going to ask you. I'm sure the reason why you became an LA Galaxy fan was because of the fact that Beckham came to.
Well, I mean, even before that, me and my dad were going to, back in the Kobe Jones era. Yeah. Kobe Jones was like the star player for as far back as I remember. I don't know. I probably was, 10 then?
Was Alexis Lalas playing for them too?
Lexi Lawless, I think he was at that time. I don't know if I remember Lexi Lawless. I mean, I was 10 years old, so there's a chance that he was already on a different club, or playing for them at that time. But I think he probably was.
Okay.
So I mean, Beckham, that debut was revolutionary for the entire league.
Yeah.
And that really set the pedestal for getting all these top world star soccer players over in the States. Yep. And you're right. It was a big investment, and it didn't pay off for a while. But finally it has. And
even for him, the way he looked at it, it was, he knew he was not going to be paid a lot, but they knew that whenever and if he wanted to buy a team, I think they had like a set price already for him. Like it was going to be something like pennies for him.
Yeah.
And look at now.
Yeah. He's got Inter Miami.
His team, he has the second best player in the world.
Yeah. The second. Are you a Ronaldo fan?
Love Ronaldo, dude.
I felt like I could sense that a little bit then. If you're not the number one Messi guy, you're a Ronaldo guy.
Exactly. You have to be. But and this is the reason why. Like, okay, listen, for all my Argentinian friends and people that I know,
sure,
Messi is out of this world.
Sure.
At this point, it just comes down to who you like.
It does.
Right?
It's preference.
They're both absolutely amazing. They're both completely out of this world. And I'm just definitely gonna take Ronaldo's side always.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a little bit of a situation happening in the World Cup.
This last World Cup?
This past World Cup.
That you didn't like.
And this is something that I have been thinking about it, and I haven't had a chance to talk about it with anybody as much, unless he was Mexicans, because we obviously, want to kind of like have the same mentality of when it came down to that particular, those particular games. But now that I'm talking to you, and now that you like soccer and that you watch, a
lot
the games during the World Cup.
Yeah.
So the time came when Argentina played Mexico, right?
I know.
We're in the same group.
Yep.
There's Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Mexico, and I don't recall what the fourth team was. Poland? Because I know I think it was Lewandowski playing.
Yeah.
I think it was Poland.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah.
We can always go back into Google and figure that out.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say here is that there is a lot of corruption in Mexican soccer. And we also have a very frail mentality. So we have always, since I've been alive, we have always, every time we go to the World Cup, it's always been, we need to win one, we need to tie one, and we need to lose one. All we need is 5 points to make it to the next round.
Yeah.
And make it to the fifth game. That's it.
That's it.
And it's really sad. You cannot do that, man. You know?
So they basically buy their one win, their one tie.
No. What I'm trying to say is like you already go with the mentality of losing.
Yeah.
You already go in losing. You're already going like, oh well, we are barely gonna make it.
Okay, I see what you're. So you're just saying the emotion behind it doesn't believe that they can win.
Exactly. They already go with a loser mind. They go in saying, we need to win one, we need to lose one, and we need to tie one, and we're good. We're gonna make it to the next phase.
Yeah. Rather than just try to win all three. 15 points is better than 5
Do you
points.
think the U.S. goes in and thinking like that?
No, we're arrogant and proud to be. we go to win.
Then
we believe we can.
And that's what I love about the sports when it comes down to, and not just sports, in many aspects of life, the American way of thinking, it surpasses the way the Mexican mentality can be. Right. But you guys are like, we're gonna kill it. We're going for the best. You know, like during the Olympics, you guys don't go in going like, oh well, maybe we can get like 5 gold medals and maybe like 10 silver ones.
Sure.
You guys going like, we need to beat China and Russia and be the number one in every single aspect.
The world's watching.
Absolutely.
Right.
So when it comes down to soccer in Mexico, we already go in thinking that way. So that's not going to help us.
Okay.
Right? Now we know we're going to face Argentina. So we're already freaking out. Right?
Yeah.
So we have all these things going against us.
You've got David and Goliath.
Completely. So, and guess what happens? Right? Our coach was from Argentina.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
He's Argentinian.
Argentinian coach.
Okay.
Coaching Mexico.
Oh.
Right? So, people say that it's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
It can be.
Right.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you look at, you have, Argentina didn't start really good. They lost the first game against Saudi Arabia.
That was mind-blowing.
The biggest upset in the soccer world. Nobody expected Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina.
No. Yeah.
Second game for Argentina is against Mexico. Right? I think we tied or we lost the first one.
Yeah.
Against Poland.
Right.
So we need to win this one.
Right. And you're up against
Argentina. We're up against Argentina.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that if Argentina loses or ties, they're gone.
Yeah. So they have to win.
Like they have to win.
And so it makes for a compelling game with both teams have to win.
Absolutely. So now here's where the kicker comes. So now this is where the coach comes into play. Yes. Just put yourself into his position. You know how Argentinians are when it comes down to their soccer. Like they're super passionate. They live by it. Like they don't know. That's what they do.
Yeah,
soccer is their thing.
It's a religion to them.
It's a religion. I mean, Maradona. They have a religion after Maradona, right?
Yeah.
So now Messi, like the second coming of God, basically, right? Of Jesus. So you have this coach that is in the way.
Yeah. What kind of moves did he make to?
You go and you even ask some of the players that played that day. He puts players in such different positions that they didn't even know what they were doing. They literally say like, bro, like what we have never trained playing in these positions before.
I'm shocked to hear to be able to play for your national team, you need to be a citizen of that team. So is that not true for the coaches?
No.
So any coach can just teach.
Absolutely.
It seems kind of counterproductive, and like there could be a little bit of a bias there to have the coach from a French guy come coach the Americans.
Even if it's 1% bias, is 1% too much.
I agree.
Let's just judge it from that.
Yeah.
Let's not say that the coach gave the game away or any of that, even if he's 1% bias, because he's the only one that is in the way of letting Lionel Messi become the world champion, which is the only trophy that he has been missing.
Yes.
To become the best player in the world.
Right. Wow.
Just think about that.
How heavy is that?
Isn't it?
Yeah. It is. It's like, who do you do it for? Do you do it for the job or do you do it for your people? The people are going to win every time.
If you win against Argentina, you're going to be crucified. You will never be able to go back to Argentina. You will never be able to speak to any other Argentinian because it was because of you.
Right.
And this is something that I'm trying to explain for people that they need to understand how passionate Argentinians are when it comes to soccer. Like I just explained to you, right?
Right.
Like they are so passionate. And for this coach to have that power in his hands,
the question remains, if he's putting players maybe in different slots, did he really want Mexico to win? That sucks for the Mexican people.
Yeah, dude, completely, man. I mean, we watched the game and we were like, what are we watching?
Yeah, it seems like you need to have a coach from your country. I mean, if the players are as dedicated to win for their country, their coaches should be too from the same country. Yeah. And that just seems like a no-brainer to me. So let's make that happen.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's my thoughts when it came down to the whole World Cup, you know, and after that, Argentina just took off.
They did.
They won the Mexican game and they just like destroyed everybody else. So they picked up the momentum right there. But if we would have been able to like stop them, even if we didn't win, even we just tied the game with them, I mean, it would have not happened.
Well,
but once again, you know, like there is nothing that you can do. History is history. Yeah. He won the World Cup. You know, he's considered to be the GOAT.
Yeah,
you know. But again, you know, I will always be a Ronaldo fan. And not a fan, but I do like Ronaldo's.
There's some gossip about Ronaldo coming to the MLS after he's done in the Saudi club.
I heard. Isn't it your rival?
No,
LAFC?
Well, you know, they're saying LA Galaxy is what I heard.
No, but LAFC.
LAFC, maybe there's a poach for him in LAFC. I haven't heard it, but then again, I'm not on LAFC feeds looking at anything that they have to go on. Why would I do that as a Galaxy fan?
Makes sense.
Like, I don't even want to see what the enemy is saying. That's
so that could be awesome, you know, if he's able to like make it here, like that would be cool. But I mean, he's already 40? He's turning 40. I think.
He's still scoring goals.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, they say, you know, is age just a number? I mean, maybe he doesn't have that many years left, but if he's still producing, maybe you don't want to build the team around him for the next, you know, foreseeable future.
Right.
Just like Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, he's 32. His contract's up. He is arguably the greatest player right now this year, just from a stats perspective. And they haven't offered him a new contract, and the people of Liverpool fans are baffled because, you know, he's been scoring goals, assisting. He's the number one goal scorer, number one assister in the Premier League, and they can't imagine why wouldn't they not want to keep him. It's because, you know, he's 32, and they just don't want to build another team around him over the next how many more years. So,
right. Is there a rumor where he might be going? Have you heard anything?
I mean, maybe Spain, like Real Madrid, maybe some of the big clubs. Or, I'm not sure.
Right.
I mean, but then where would he play for Madrid? They already have Vinicius Jr.
I just watched the game earlier, and that's why I had to push the podcast a little bit later because I'm like,
Mbappe,
you know, like,
hat trick,
dude, Mbappe hat trick, bro. We destroy Manchester City.
Yeah,
destroy them.
They're not the team they were.
Haaland wasn't even playing. I didn't know that he was hurt.
Yeah.
So they're done.
Yeah, they are.
I'm very happy for it.
I'm okay seeing the bullies get their butt kicked too. I'm all right with that.
And that, so Real Madrid is my team since childhood. Like it's like LA Galaxy is yours.
Yeah.
Real Madrid for me has been my team since I was like 5 years old, five or six.
The roots run deep.
Yeah, because Hugo Sanchez, he was like probably one of our, if not our best Mexican player that we have had. Played first with Atletico de Madrid and then Real Madrid bought him.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely amazing during the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
Real Madrid. So, and that's what they would be televising, when you're a kid. So that's what you watch.
Right.
And there's not like we had thousands of channels.
Right.
Or streaming services.
Yeah.
You only had a few channels. And if they show that game and there's a Mexican playing in there, you're like,
that's what you're watching.
That's what I'm watching. That's what I'm going for.
And even though I grew up in like an American household, it was soccer as well, which is probably the most un-American thing about me. But whatever.
Right.
You grow up loving what you grew up watching.
Right. Exactly.
Speaking of the World Cup,
yes,
it's gonna be here.
Yeah, man.
I've looked at tickets and tried to like find a way to get into the games, and holy crap, they're like the cheapest is like $2,000, and it's like it's
for a regular game
for United States at SoFi. The United States will be here at SoFi.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think it would be cooler to go to Mexico to watch the United States play.
The first game is going to be in Mexico City.
Yeah.
The inaugural game.
I would like to at least make it to something, but if it's going to be a $2,000 ticket, then it's like the rich can only enjoy the World Cup now.
Dude, that's not fair, man.
That's not fair. This ain't Taylor Swift concert, all right? Give me my... Yeah. Soccer doesn't have to be a rich man's game. It can be for everyone.
That is crazy. That is a lot of money, man. I have
a lot.
no clue. I haven't even had a chance to look at it. Just I haven't really thought about it as much.
Yeah.
But to be able to spend $2,000 on a ticket, yeah.
Well, someday.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
If it's,
the podcast takes off.
The podcast takes off.
The music takes off.
The music takes off, and you start playing arenas and stuff like that. Maybe you can take me.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be my first call.
So speaking about passions and stuff, passion. So how do you get into music, brother? Like how did it happen?
Oh man, I've always been musical, so I've always gravitated towards instruments. My mom was in a band growing up.
Oh, cool.
In like a church band.
All right.
So the music talent is on my mom's side. My dad, completely tone deaf. Can't hold a note. In fact, we actually have this family joke where if we all sing Happy Birthday, we want him to sing it solo because it's just that funny to hear. And then we'll do like a 5-part harmony Happy Birthday with all the musical people, and my dad just can't sing at all. So I'm glad I didn't get that. But I started as a drummer, and I was playing in a couple bands growing up. Switched over to kind of guitar and wanted to learn more instruments. And as I got older, I started putting the guitar down. You started working a job, having to pay the bills, moving out of the parents' house, and kind of typically put music on the back shelf. And it isn't until kind of recently where I've really dove heavy into it, and it kind of started because I got fired from my job. That's really what happened. And it's
really like how recent are you talking?
It's been about a year now that I've decided to do music as a profession, as a business, and make money at it. And I got fired from my job.
Recent?
Yeah. Well, since I've been doing like these shows that I'm doing like every night, it's kind of been a very fast progression.
That is crazy, dude.
I know, it kind of started almost out of desperation because I was like, well, what do I do? Do I just go get another job doing something that I didn't enjoy doing?
Right.
I was making good money at it.
Right.
And in the low of kind of being fired and figuring out what the next step was, I have a great friend of mine who kind of put the idea in my head. She was like, Blake, why not do music? And every reason of why not to do it starts coming into your head.
It's trying to justify everything.
Yeah, it's a horror. It's an industry that leaves people broke and full of sorrow and doubt and all this stuff. But it actually, I'm glad I listened to her. And it's weird. Sometimes you just need a little encouragement, and then from there on, if you starting believing in yourself, you can do it.
So let me ask you this question. So, because I've seen you play, I have heard about you before I even saw you play, and I haven't heard anything but great things about you, right? I get to see you, and I'm like, damn, this guy is great at what he does, right?
Thanks, man.
And you're telling me that you've been doing this, you have been full into it only a year.
Yeah, I mean, growing up.
Were you playing any shows? Were you doing anything else prior to last year?
So prior to last year, no, I wasn't. I was sometimes doing some shows as a drummer for kind of this like comedy band that I was in. It was kind of a goofy comedy / music. We would change the lyrics to songs and stuff. It was definitely not a family-friendly show by any means. We were called the Glory Hole Boys. It was just we would dress up as Mormons. It would be over the top, ridiculous, but it was fun. It was so fun. Right. And so I was a drummer in that, but so I was doing that. But all the music shows when I was really young, I was playing drums for a band with decent success, actually. And I was like 16 at the time.
Really?
Yeah, touring with a band as a drummer and filling in as a guitar player. And that's when I was doing music full time. But at that age, at 16, you have a lot more ability to chase passions.
Right.
You don't have to pay a bill or anything like that.
Yeah.
So when that band broke up, and I was about 20 then. All of a sudden I was in a different position, be like, okay, I gotta start figuring some moves out.
What my life is going to be.
What's it going to be? And, up until this just past year, I'm all in on music, man. I mean, thank God it's kind of been working out where I don't have to get a different type of job. I'm just doing this. I have some good agents that represent me now. And, it's been kind of a wild ride. So,
that's super cool. So your mom, like you mentioned, she was into music. Mm-hmm. Was she the one teaching you, or did you take classes for to become a drummer, or did you take classes to become a guitarist? Or how did that came? Because believe me, and the reason why I'm asking is because I love music. And as you notice, I have a couple of guitars hanging over there. Right?
I did, yeah.
But I can only strum. One of the hardest things for me is to be able to lead and sing at the same time. To me, that seems impossible. Just because it's like either I focus here or I focus on the singing. Yeah, right?
Right.
I mean, I can strum and sing, and I can do that no problem.
Sure.
But when it comes down to like trying to have the lead on the guitar and trying to sing, it seems like my brain is like,
yeah, it kind of crumbles upon itself.
Yes,
it is a mind challenge for sure,
right?
I guess that my mom didn't really teach me. She just kind of instilled the genetics that helped along. She bought me a drum set for Christmas. My parents got my sister a guitar. They got me a drum set, and it was all I could do was sit at the drums and start banging away and start listening to it. And I kind of just started teaching myself.
Keep going.
Yeah, so I just kind of started teaching myself. And the coolest thing about drums is if you ever want to play drums, you don't need a drum set. This is a drum right here. I'm just creating beats on anything that I could find around the house. And so after a couple broken pots and plates, my mom decided to buy me an actual drum set. She was sick of having to buy new dishes all the time because I would just start banging on everything. and I did get some lessons a couple years down the road, just to take me from what I could teach myself just to the kind of that next level.
Right.
And my sister, although my parents bought me the drum set, and my sister guitar. Sister just didn't really play the guitar. She never really took to it. So I took that too. So I was like, well, I'll take the guitar and learn some chords and listen to a song and try to play the song, and I got pretty good at it. And that's all. I was obsessed. I was literally obsessed from the day I woke up to going to bed at night. I had a guitar strapped to me. I was in the garage playing my drums.
Yeah.
That's all I really wanted to do.
Yeah. I mean, that explains it right there, right? It's like, that's all you have to. You have to have an obsession with something in order to be good at it.
Yeah.
I seem to struggle with the obsession part because I don't really get obsessed with anything. I'm like good at many things.
Sure.
But I'm not great at many things. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't say that about yourself. I'm sure there's...
I'm sure there's a few things, but at the same time, it's like, I used to get bored. And that is my problem. I get bored. Like, I would pick up my guitar.
Yeah.
And I would like strum. And I'm like, okay, I learned the song. Boom.
Right.
Put it away.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of like, I'm sure that if you were to like, okay, I learned the song. Now I want to see if I can do this with that same song. And maybe I can change a few things, or maybe I can add a couple of things.
Right.
For me, it's like, oh, I learned it, good. Hang the guitar and don't touch it for like a year.
Yeah. It definitely started as a self kind of teaching interest. And then as I got a little bit older, I started getting some great mentors along the way, people that I could learn from who were still doing this professionally. And I was probably like just, a 15, 16-year-old kid at the time. And, I remember a guitar teacher, Mark Hood. Hey, Mark. He was, he's an incredible guitar player, and he kind of honed in on a lot of skills. But more importantly, he gave me some opportunities to play on stage with him.
Gotcha.
And so that just kind of, once you get that rush of being on stage, even at a young age, in front of people where people are listening to you play, they're clapping along, they're cheering along, maybe they're dancing a little bit. That gets you hooked.
Gotcha.
And yeah. So I definitely had some people steering me the right direction.
Gotcha.
That kind of morphed into what it is now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, all I'm saying is, if you need someone, I will googly eye you while you strum, and I'll be that audience for you. I'll chant you on.
Good.
You'll love it.
All right. So then, within the last year, that's when you decided to be like, you know what? More, like you mentioned, like mostly of desperation, than because you wanted to do it. You decided to just jump right into it.
Right.
And now you're doing it, man, almost every single night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It definitely didn't start that way.
Right.
I guess the nice thing about, me is you have to be willing to just walk into any bar or restaurant, any kind of place that you're trying to play, and, be fearless. Be fearless. Fear will kill you, and it will completely wash you away of any gift that you probably possess and can do and should do. And like I said, my friend was the one who encouraged me, who knew I was looking for different type of work, and she was like, "You're good enough to do this. You should do this." And that's something I didn't even believe about myself, and I was too afraid to give it a shot.
Right.
So having a good support group or friends that will encourage you to do something can be pretty powerful. At least it was in my case. But yeah, it's been an up and down year. But what else would I do? I guess I could bartend again. I used to do that. But
yeah, no, I think the fact that you are, just following what you want to do, that's it right there, man.
Yeah.
It's working out for you. Like just like anything, we're gonna have our ups and downs.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have decided to go for it and just like making shit happen.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad, dude.
I found kind of a niche in music because, you know, there's so many different things that someone can do
Right.
in music. And so live looping is kind of the niche that I found.
And why that?
It was a business decision. I didn't want to do a band because then you have to split money between like 5 different members. And I was like, all right, well, I can't really support myself with that. But with a loop station, I can be my own band.
Gotcha.
And since I'm the only member, I don't need to split it with 5 different people. So I start with every band needs a drummer. So I start with a little beatboxing, you know, and that's my drummer, right? I record that live. I loop it back. I got a guitar to me. All right, now every band needs a guitar player. So I'm going to play a little guitar riff. Let's loop that. Every band also needs a bass player. Right. Well, I've got a pedal that turns my guitar into a bass, and now all of a sudden I'm playing the bass part, looping that, and I'm forming a band right in front of the audience without needing the other members. And so financially, it just kind of works a little bit better that you keep all the money yourself that way.
It makes sense.
So that's why I was like, well, let's try this looping thing out. Plus, it's almost a little bit more impressive when it's a solo guy filling all the hats.
A little bit.
At least the audience sees it as more impressive. Although I can't ever fully compete with a band. There's things that I just simply can't fully compete with. But I can get pretty close.
Yeah.
So that's why looping.
Yeah.
And I don't have to work with anyone else's schedule.
Exactly.
It's just me.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to deal with any other personsolutions, it's just yourself and...
No hungover singer the next day from the gig before. So, yeah, I bought my loop station about a year ago today.
Oh, cool, man.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna be having a little bit of a session towards the end of this conversation. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to listen to you and play some tunes for sure. So
yeah,
you were showing me the tattoo that you have on your arm.
Oh yeah. It's a work in progress. This is Frank Sinatra. It's his mugshot tattoo. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. I'm now flexing just because I noticed my shirt's up. And I've also got a Freddie Mercury tattoo. I don't know if you can see that.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Funny story about this Freddie Mercury tattoo. There's a famous pose. He's doing the fist in the air. Very famous photo.
The wife beater, right?
Yeah, exactly. The wife beater. And I was in the gym wearing a tank top, exercising. And a guy came up to me and he's like, "Hey, is that a picture of Stalin?" I was like,
"Shut up."
What? Like Joseph? No.
Joseph Stalin, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't concerned. He was like excited, like he found a brother. And I was like, "No, it's not Stalin. It's Freddie Mercury. And please stop talking to me. Whatever beliefs you have, I don't share them, man."
Oh my God! So what do you do? Do you just like, wow, what kind of question was that?
Well, yeah. I mean, at first I was like, well, first correct him. I was like, no, that's not Stalin. But then, as he walks away, you start thinking he was kind of hoping it was.
He was kind of there, hoping for
sure. He wasn't concerned. He was kind of excited. I was like, that's definitely not who that is. And I do get sometimes with the Frank Sinatra tattoo, I get why am I blanking?
He seems like he was like younger in that picture, right?
Yeah, so he was 22 in this photo.
Okay.
He is his mugshot, so his arrest photo. He was arrested, and so it's just kind of a iconic photo. But
who do they say that he looks like?
I get that he looks like. Oh my gosh! Why am I blinking? He always.
Is he a singer?
Yes, from the 80s.
From the 80s. Oh,
Bowie.
David Bowie. Yeah.
I get that he kind of looks like David Bowie sometimes.
Yeah.
I kind of see it.
Yeah.
But I actually got these tattoos not just because I love music, which I do, but they remind me of my parents.
In what sense?
Well, me and my mom used to dance in the kitchen to Frank Sinatra music while I was growing up, as we just kind of did the dishes and house chores.
Right.
And my dad, we would headbang to Queen. He taught me how to headbang growing up in his little pickup truck way back in the day. And my mom taught me how to dance to Frank.
Right on.
So it's kind of a childhood homage.
For something like, I remember like during my 20s, I was very into Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
I love listening to him. Like I would just, I'm 20, 21.
Yeah.
And you just listen to his voice and just like, I like him better than I like Elvis.
Yeah. I could see.
I mean, I know it's completely different.
Sure.
Music, but I just couldn't get into Elvis Presley.
Wasn't your thing? Did you see the movie?
I did not.
Oh.
I didn't even bother watching it.
Yeah.
But Frank, I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
I probably need to go revisit him again.
There's a lot of good Frank stories out there. One that I know personally of a family friend, a family member, a friend of a family. There it is. Friend of a family has a Frank story that she told at a family dinner not too long ago. You know that restaurant he would always hang out at Disneyland? 33?
Oh, 33. 33.
Yeah, Club 33.
Club 33, yeah.
She used to work there, and she was a server there, and she's a bit older, and Frank would always go in, and that was like one of his hangout spots.
Really?
And he was having dinner with a group of buddies. This is a true story from someone I know. A dinner with a group of his buddies, and they're drinking, and they're having a good time, and his buddies are saying, "Hey, Frank, I bet you're losing your touch. I bet you can't even sing to a woman and make her cry anymore." And Frank said, "Oh, I certainly can. Absolutely, I can." And my family friend was serving the table. And so he said, "What's your name? Come on over here." And he grabs a chair. He says, I need you to sit down, and I'm going to sing to you. And she's like, "Oh, sir, I can't sit. It's a nice restaurant. I can get in trouble. I'm not supposed to sit." He's like, "I'm Frank Sinatra. Sit down. I'm going to sing to you." and the bet was if he could make her cry with his voice, he wins. And he still got it. And she sits down, and he just starts singing to her, "Fly me to the moon." And she just weeps. And tears are streaming down, and he's holding on to her, and they're slow dancing, and he still got it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
And that girl that you know
Yes.
is that girl that he sang to.
Yes.
That is such a cool story.
Yeah, friend of my mom's. So
there's another little story about him. Is that one of the artists that he looked up to? It was a Mexican singer.
Oh.
And I'll show you when we're done. I'll show you this guy. His name is Jose.
Yeah.
And they talked about doing something together. This is back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he started, like in the late 60s, early 70s. And so he would go to TJ, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
And he would watch him there.
Oh.
Yeah. And to this guy's voice,
Yeah.
phenomenal, dude. He's one of the greatest singers in Mexico.
Is he like one of those like ballroom dancers, kind of like not dancers, ballroom singers?
No, he was very like pop.
Yeah.
He would sing pop,
Okay.
but I'm talking pop back in the 70s,
Right.
But he was trained for opera.
Oh, okay.
So I don't recall what his tone of voice was. You know
Right.
how they have like different tenors and they have all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall what he was, but he was like right there on one of them. But he could get some notes that were like off the hook.
Just cut right to the bone.
And you could feel it.
Yeah.
I'll show you the video. And
yeah.
you're gonna be like, wow, that guy was freaking. It was like 1970. He did this this contest where he lost to some other girl, but everybody was like, that was not supposed to happen. Like, this guy did the best performance that anybody could ever see.
Yeah.
And he ended up losing. But anyways, Frank Sinatra, that's who he looked up to.
Everyone has an influence.
Everybody, right?
Everybody.
All right. Who's your biggest influence besides them two? You would say that them two are like your biggest influence?
They definitely are influences of mine. They really just emulate my parents for me. And so, what more special place to get a tattoo than that reminds you of family?
Yeah.
I would say my biggest influence growing up.
Let me ask you this question actually better because and I'm trying to phrase it in the sense that it's like, because you get a typical, like, who are the best 3 bands that you like, or who's the best 3 singers or whatever. It's hard to do that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, especially if you really enjoy music, I mean, you probably kind of like have to like categorizing it by genre, or you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to pick 3 people or 5 people, but I'm still going to ask you.
Okay. That's fair.
If you had, let's just say 5.
Yeah.
That gives you a little bit more. Right. And not 1, 2, 3, and 1 being the best.
Right.
Who would be your 5 top?
Yeah. It definitely, I think, changes, but there's been one person who's always been consistent, John Mayer.
Real.
John Mayer.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, growing up, he was the guy. When I was in high school, he was this soulful, bluesy guitar player, beautiful songwriter. And I just loved him. I loved him so much. I watched every video, took a lot of influence from John Mayer. So that would be definitely number 1 for me.
Okay.
I think for songwriting ability, man, there's some great songwriters out there.
May I mention something?
Yeah.
I might be up or not.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson.
I do like Jack Johnson. I would say instead of Jack Johnson, Jason Mraz.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, I can see that.
Beautiful tenor voice.
Bro.
I think he's
It's good.
Yeah, I think he's underappreciated. I don't think some people even know how good Jason Mraz even is. The guy just wrote a musical that's a huge Emmy-nominated musical, and no one even knows that he was the song.
I don't even know.
He was the writer. He wrote the music for it.
Which one was it?
Waitress.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not even familiar with it.
Okay. Yeah. If you ever, if you're into musical theater at all, or in Broadway production, Waitress, he starred in it for a couple weeks, and other people have taken over since then, but him and Sarah Bareilles wrote the music together, and she's incredible too. So
I'm gonna have to look into her because I'm not very familiar with her.
Yeah. So definitely those 2 are
okay.
Are big of me, big of mine. Let's find some more. Who am I into? I'm really.
Because those are pretty recent, right? Yeah. In a sense that within like the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've got a guitar player, I've got a songwriter, performer. I don't think there's a much better performer in the history of the world than Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Freddie is known as the front man. And he just throws his emotion, his music, his body physically throwing himself kind of on the stage, out in the audience. So, 3, Freddie Mercury.
3. All right.
Can't sing like him though. Not too many people can sing like him.
Yeah, no, that's impossible, dude. That guy, he had a range that not many people were able to copy that.
There's a lot of I've been doing this live looping thing over the last year now. I've been really researching some great loop artists that do really, really inspire me. And there's a lot of really good ones. Obviously, the big one would be Ed Sheeran that most people know about. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen Ed Sheeran play live.
No.
He doesn't have a band. He has no band. Okay. He's the highest grossing artist as far as money goes.
Right, without a band.
Because he doesn't have a band to pay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to pay for $10,000 a week for a drummer and then another $5,000 for singer or whatever. He just keeps it all himself, and he does it because he's a one-man band just like me.
Right.
He just loops everything. So he starts with the drums, the percussion, and if you ever see him live, it's just one show, but it's awesome. So
yeah, didn't cross my head.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. The radio songs that are poppy and popular, that doesn't really show off.
Gotcha.
So he would be...
That's probably why.
Yeah. But there's another loop artist who's not so big that people don't know about. Carl Walkner. He's an Australian, but he lives in Nashville. Okay. I think he's one of the best loop artists in the world today. Although he's not totally known. If you weren't in the music scene, you probably wouldn't know who he was. And I actually sometimes slide in his DMs, and sometimes he responds.
Really?
Yeah.
He's Australian, you say?
Yeah, he's Australian, lives in Nashville. I'm actually going to be in Nashville in a couple months doing some shows out there.
That's cool.
So
I love Nashville, dude.
Yeah.
I've been there once.
Okay, yeah. So I'm hopefully I can try to meet up with him or something if he's around. But yeah, he's a loop artist. That's a big inspiration of mine too.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So there you got, what is it, 4 now?
That's 4.
Was that 4? One more?
Oh yeah, one more. This is a difficult thing, a list to come up with like this. Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day, like with stuff like that. I'm like, especially with movies and songs and things like that. Like I think I'm going to have to make a list and just have it on my phone of all these things, and if it changes, I'll change it, whatever, but at least have it ready because these questions come out a lot, right?
Right.
And it's so hard to just come up with them in the spot, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, then by the time you answer, as you're walking away, you're like, I remember another one. Right. I should have used this one instead, right?
Right. I'll text it to you if I come up. Or maybe, as I say the names, you might need to show an image photo of their face. Because some people are like, I don't know. No one knows who Carl Walkner is.
Exactly.
Except for weirdos like me who are just researching loop artists. And then, so controversial statement.
We like that.
I believe the best singer in the world today, right now.
All right, let's go. I like where this is going.
Right now.
Let's go.
Currently is Shoshana Bean. She is also not someone who's a big pop star that you would know. She came from the Broadway world. She's got pop. She's just an incredible vocalist.
Now I'm curious and I really want to freaking look who she is. Like
I have a lot of people say Celine Dion as like one of the greatest vocalists in the world, and
she does.
I see it.
SHA?
Yeah, so Shoshana Bean, SH. Oh man, my phone will Shoshana.
So.
All right, yeah, it's SHOSHANA. Bean.
Shoshana Bean.
She's an American singer-songwriter, kind of came from that Broadway classical trained world. But the thing that I love so much about Shoshana Bean is when she's singing is I just believe every single word that she says. It's not even just like that she is such a good singer, although she is, but I think she really connects to everything that she sings.
Okay.
Emotionally.
Okay.
There are some of those singers that you believe. I think Sia is one of those as well.
The Australian girl?
Yeah. Sia.
She's from the Australian girl.
Is she Australian?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
The girl that covers her eyes?
Yeah.
She's Australian.
She's brilliant.
Dude.
She's awesome.
Writing and singing.
Oh, yeah.
Completely off the hook, that woman.
Yeah. And she's one of those singers that, like, she's not the most technical sound singer, but
she sings from the heart. Like, it just comes out. Absolutely. Oh, bro. Like, I remember when I first heard her song, I want to say maybe 16 or 17. 2016 or 2017, it was, what is her most famous song?
Chandelier. Yeah.
Like, listening to that song, you're like, bro, like, that shit is powerful.
She's going
like,
for it.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing woman.
I remember literally the first time I heard Chandelier, I was driving down the 405 freeway. Radio's on.
Right.
Song comes on. My ear doesn't take to it right away. I'm just kind of minding my own business, just kind of driving.
Right.
And it's not until like the second chorus comes through where I'm like starting to turn the volume up a little bit. And then, I'm starting to turn it up a little bit more. And then by the end of it, I'm like, who the hell is that?
Right.
Because I don't know what she's singing. I don't know what she's about, but whatever pain,
it's
connecting.
Yeah.
And that was the first, and I distinctively remember hearing Sia's voice for the first time.
Yeah.
And
unforgettable.
Yeah. I think that and then I started researching Sia. Like, why does she have such a heart-connected way about her? And, you read about her past, and she's open about the history with drug addiction and kind of a hard life.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the type of singers that, that have something to say.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder.
I mean, this might be a controversial statement for many people, but I could take her over Taylor Swift any given moment.
If that's controversial to someone, then I don't even need to be friends with that person. Yeah, any day.
It's like I don't get Taylor Swift.
Neither do I.
I think I have a pretty good idea of good music, good singers, but I just don't understand the amount of fame, the amount of I mean, she's a gifted woman, obviously, she can sing, she can play guitar, she can write, but it's very, very vanilla.
So vanilla.
Right?
So vanilla.
Right? Is that a good...
That's a great depiction.
Right.
And, I love my Swifties out there. Swifties, you're welcome to enjoy and like what you enjoy and what
hands
you
down,
like.
please keep on doing it. Do not ever stop loving what you love.
Right.
Sure.
But because I am a professional, objectively, it's not good. I'm just saying. Objectively, it's not good.
Yeah.
I like Taylor Swift as much as any normal person. I'm not a Swiftie, but I do play a lot of Taylor Swift songs because...
Yeah, because then again...
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that love to listen to Taylor Swift.
And you will not see more women just feeling so empowered than a good Taylor or Shania Twain song. just the rush that they get when their person their song comes on. I
bet.
So
gotta love it, man.
There's a lot of music that I play that I don't personally enjoy, but it's not always about me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you just have to make the people happy.
That's literally what my job is.
Right.
Do it for them.
Listen, Blake, I'm having a blast talking to you, brother.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to listen to some tunes, bro. If you're ready.
You want me to do the thing that you just heard me talk about for an hour?
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
I can do that for you, man.
We love to see your magic, So
right.
Like we can say goodbye to our people, and I really would love to have you next time. One more time, bro. Well, as many times as you want to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I would love to have you on. Love talking to you about soccer and music and whatever.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man.
Yeah,
let's make it happen again, bro.
All right, let's do it. Gracious host.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. So first, as a live loop artist, you got to start with the beat, right? So beatbox is the first thing. Let's do that. That's my drums. Let's add more. All right.
bumping all over town. Strictly bitch, she don't play around. Cover the ground, got games right down. The paid is a forte, truly play away each and every day. I can't get it out of my mind. Think about the girl all the time. East side to the west side, spitting rap rhymes, I'd be surprised. Price tags in the cash, stacking up the cash. That's when it comes to the gas. I know it means average, but I think I'm gonna have it. Maybe you're a perfect 10. I wanna get in. Can I get down so I can win? Like the way you work it. I gotta bag it up. Like the way you're working. Oh, I like the way you're working. Now diggity, I gotta bag it up. Like the way you're working. I'm gonna pop some tags. I only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is freaking awesome. I'm gonna pop some tags. I got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is freaking awesome. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Hey, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Play on, player. That's right. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Oh, no, no. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. You're my kind of girl. Hey oh, hey oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Damn, that girl is good. I like the way you work it. Gotta bag it up. Like the way you work it. I bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. Gotta bag it up. Like the way you work it. We gotta bag it up. We out. All right. So that's live looping. All right, so that's a little no diggity. Let's do some more, huh? How about this? I like doing mashups. So far. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. I wouldn't get this with any other guy. I wanna tell you what I'm feeling. You gotta make you understand. I'm never gonna give you up, never let you down, never turn around and hurt out of here, maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Start from zero, got nothing to prove. You and I can both get jobs, find out what it means to be living. Oh, yeah, my old man's got a problem. Your body's too old for working, his body's too old for leaving. I managed to save just a little bit of money, promise won't drive too far. Cross through the border and into the city, you and I could take care of him. Oh, but I'm never gonna give you up, never let you down, never turn around and hurt you. No, I'm never gonna make you cry, never say goodbye, never tell a lie, desert you. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, sure. Want something bumping and upbeat? Okay. No, you can say hi. All right. For all the grown and sexy people out there, all right? I'm just a bachelor, looking for a partner, someone who knows how to ride without being by my side. Gotta be compatible, stretch me to my limits. Girl, when I shake it off, you know you won't want to get off. Your pony, let's do it, ride it. My pony, my saddle's waiting. Won't you come and jump on it? If you're pony, let's do it, ride it. My pony, my saddle's waiting. Come and jump on it. Oh. California. I get my peaches down in Georgia. Hey, let's loop that. I get my peaches down in Georgia, it's that shit. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia, it's that shit. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia, it's that shit. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia, it's that shit. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia, it's that shit. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia, it's that shit. I get my weed from California. I get my peaches down in Georgia. I get my weed from California, badass bitch. I get my peaches down in Georgia. I get my lemonade. Let's do it, ride it, up on it, saddle, baby. Won't you come and jump on it?